You've heard her words, but you haven't heard her voice, at least not since the start of her triple murder trial. But thanks to a court order today, we can bring to you what Erin Patterson told police during her record of interview. These are her words, and it is her voice. I'm Brooke Grebert-Craig, and this is The Mushroom Cook. Now, listeners, I know I said that we would be back tomorrow, but there's some more information that we had to publish today.
Yes, we really didn't want to wait, so there are a few updates I can provide our listeners.
Yes, so we've already given you a comprehensive episode on everything that the jury didn't know, but we do have some more details. Laura, you were in court today. What did we learn?
So last week we were talking about when Erin might be sentenced, and today we have a better impression of when that might happen. Erin appeared via video link today from Dame Phyllis Frost Centre, the women's prison where she's been held since she was charged, and she found out today that she will next face a hearing across 2 days on August 25 and August 26.
And what will we learn in that hearing?
So this hearing is called a plea hearing or a pre-sentence hearing. And we've spoken a little bit about it before and what it will entail, but to remind our listeners, it's when all of the lawyers come together and present their submissions to Justice Christopher Beale about what sentence Erin should get. So the prosecution will be flagging those aggravating factors, the things they say mean that Erin should get a very harsh sentence. But on the other hand, you'll have the defence submitting psychiatric reports and other material that they say means Erin should be shown a little bit of leniency.
And we'll also hear victim impact statements as well, right?
Yeah, and that's a really big part of what the prosecution will be putting forward. Anyone who's been impacted by this crime can be considered a victim. So we're not just talking about Ian, the only guest to survive the lunch, but also his children, then the children of Don and Gail Patterson, which includes Simon, Erin's estranged husband. They will all be given an opportunity to stand up in court and read out that victim impact statement in front of Erin and in front of the judge.
So that will take place over 2 days?
Yes, that's right. Crown Prosecutor Jane Warren today said that she was expecting to receive a lot of victim impact statements. But we must note that not all victims do want to read their statements out themselves. Some of them find the process too difficult, so they ask a prosecutor to do it on their behalf.
So will Erin be sentenced at that hearing?
It's really unlikely. Justice Beale will want to go away and consider everything he's heard from all of the lawyers, including the victim impact statements as well. Then he'll formulate a sentence that he believes he should hand down, and that will be delivered at a later date. As we've spoken about previously, murder carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment, but the defence will be pushing for her to get a minimum sentence, so one day she can hopefully apply for parole.
So you said we'll hear the sentence at a later date. Are we expecting weeks or months? What's the time period like?
It could be months, but it's more likely to be weeks. The justice system doesn't want convicted murderers to just be waiting in limbo, not knowing how long their sentence will be. But even further to that, we do know that Erin's defence team has flagged an appeal, and once she is sentenced, they will have 28 days to be able to hand in their paperwork and start that process.
Okay, let's move on. So the court has released Erin's record of interview today.
They did, and this nearly didn't happen. Justice Beale had initially agreed to release it, but Erin's defence team had a bit of a problem with that, so our lawyers got involved and made some arguments on our behalf, saying that it was really in the interest of open justice that this should be released, so members of the public had a chance themselves to see Erin give this interview. This interview was conducted on August 5, exactly 1 week after Erin hosted the lunch. At this stage, Gail and Heather had died, and Don was only hours away from passing away as well. Constable Eppingstall and his colleagues had spent hours searching Erin's home that day before they took her to the Wonthaggi police station to conduct this interview. To remind our listeners, this interview was played in front of the jury. Not the entire thing, we understand. It was only about a 20-minute snippet. But they got to see her being questioned by Detective Leading Senior Constable Stephen Eppingstall, and our listeners will get that same opportunity.
Yes, and we have mentioned the record of interview on a previous episode. We had actors voicing it, but now our listeners get to hear Erin in her own words.
For the first time.
We should note the audio quality was not great on this, so we've tried our best to clean it up. And we're going to play it now, unedited, as it was given to us by the court.
Let's click play.
This is the DVD recorded interview between Detective Lead and Senior Constable Stephen Eppingstall and Erin Patterson of Gibson Street, Leongatha, conducted at the Wonthaggi Police Station on Saturday the 5th of August 2023. Other person present is my corroborator.
Detective Senior Constable David Martin LK 40053.
Right. Erin, do you agree the time is now 4:41 p.m. by my watch?
Yep.
All right. Could you please state your full name and address for me?
Erin Patterson, 4 Gibson Street, Leongatha.
All right. Erin, I intend to interview you today in relation to the death of two people, being Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson. Before continuing, I must inform you that you do not have to say or do anything, but anything you say or do is being recorded and may be used in evidence in court.
Okay.
Do you understand that information?
Yeah.
Right. I must also inform you of the following rights. You may communicate with or attempt to communicate with a friend or relative to tell that person of your whereabouts.
Okay.
You may communicate with or attempt to communicate with a legal practitioner. If you're not an Australian citizen or permanent resident here in Australia, you may communicate with or attempt to communicate with the consular office of the country on which you are a citizen.
Okay.
Do you understand all of these rights?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wish to exercise any of these rights before the interview proceeds?
No, sorry. No, I don't.
That's all right. Now, I'll just confirm with you that you've had an opportunity to speak to a solicitor before this interview commenced. Okay, and you're happy with that?
Yep.
All right. Now, I'll also remind you that your rights are with you for the entire time you're with us. Okay, so if you decide later on you want to exercise any of those rights, you just let me know and we'll do that. All right. Now, what is your age and date of birth?
48, 30th of the 9th, 74.
And are you an Australian citizen?
Yeah.
Are you a permanent resident here in Australia?
I was born here and I live here and I'm a resident of Australia. Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And are you of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descent?
No.
Okay. What's your mobile number, Erin?
0480 535 835.
And do you have an email address?
Yes, it's ESH
Yep.
301430 @gmail.com.
All right. Now, as we discussed earlier, and we've been together for a few hours now. It was after 11:30 that we came to your house today.
Wow.
We want to discuss the deaths of Heather Wilkinson and Gail Patterson today with you. When we were at the house earlier, we discussed that you hadn't really been kept in the loop, and it come as news to you that Heather and Gail had both passed away. Following eating at your house, Donald, Ian, Gail and Heather all become so ill that they ultimately ended up in the intensive care unit at both the Dandenong Hospital and then moved to the Austin Hospital. All right. Following that, they had a deterioration in their condition, and that they become so ill that their livers have failed.
Okay.
Donald underwent transplant last night. Okay, and his condition is still extremely critical as of last report. Heather and Gail passed away. In relation to Ian, I don't have a current prognosis in relation to where he's at. As of late yesterday, the diagnosis isn't great for him either. We're trying to understand what has made them so ill. You understand?
Yeah.
Why we're asking these questions.
Yeah.
Conversely, we're trying to understand why you're not that ill. Right? So you understand why we're interviewing you today?
Yeah, I do. But I'm sure you understand too that, like, I've never been in a situation like this before, and I've been very, very helpful with the health department through the week because I wanted to help that side of things as much as possible because I do want to know what happened. Yeah. So I've given them as much information as they've asked for and offered up all the food and all the information about where the food came from.
No, I fully understand that.
Yeah.
All right. At the house, and I must say, for the record again, you're very helpful at the house, and you did point out a couple of things for us that will help us with our investigation. Mainly the fruit platter that you said Heather for you, and the gravy in the fridge in the pantry that you said was from the night, and you kept on an advice from the health department. So thank you for that. You also pointed out a recipe book on the counter, and you referred me to page 250 odd, a recipe for beef Wellington that you indicated was the recipe that you cooked. Okay. All right. On what we saw at your address in Leongatha. Well, we didn't see a lot of food from Asian grocers or Indian grocers or those kind of stores.
To look in my fridge, I've got a lot of Asian cooking stuff in my fridge.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are we likely to find more of that kind of stuff in your Mount Waverley address, do you think, or?
No, because I did a big clean out of the pantry and fridge the last time that I was there because I want to sell that place.
Okay. All right.
So the pantry and fridge there will be empty.
Okay. So you want to sell that place? All right. No problem. Obviously, we've got concerns in relation to the mushrooms and where they've come from. Okay. Is that something you've done in the past, foraging for the mushrooms or anything like that? Never?
Never.
Right. Do you preserve foods or anything like that?
No.
Have you ever dehydrated food or anything like that? Okay. You've described to me a relationship with your ex-partner Simon. I'd like to understand why you had his parents and his uncle and auntie over for lunch on the 29th of July.
Because I've got no other family, so they're the only support I've got.
Okay.
And they've always been really good to me.
Yeah.
And I want to maintain those relationships with them, in spite of what's happened with Simon.
Yeah. Okay.
I love them a lot. They've always been really good to me. And they always said to me that they would support me with love and emotional support, even though Simon and I were separated. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because my parents are both gone.
Yeah.
My grandparents are all gone. They're the only family that I've got.
Yeah.
And they're the only grandparents that my children have. And I want them to stay in my kids' life.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. And I think Simon hated that I still had a relationship with his parents. But I love them.
Yeah.
Nothing that's ever happened between us, nothing he's ever done to me will change the fact that they're good, decent people that have never done anything wrong by me ever.
So we've been told that on the 31st of July, so 2 days after the lunch, you went to the Leongatha Hospital, okay, and that you were only there for about 5 minutes and then you left. Can you explain why you went there for 5 minutes?
Yeah, because I just went there thinking I needed a couple of bags of saline because I was really dehydrated. And they said, we want to admit you and send you to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And when you've got animals at home and children who have multiple after-school activities, you can't just be told to drop everything and you're off to Melbourne for overnight. So I had to go home and feed the animals and pack my daughter's ballet bag.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I went back.
Okay. Who did you speak to?
So I walked in and there was like, I don't think they were a nurse. It was like, I don't know, it could have been an enrolled nurse or it was like a helper person in the triage room, right? And she's just like, are you okay? And I said, well, no, I have to run to the toilet. I've got diarrhea. And she wasn't quite sure where it was. And so she went and found out and showed me where it was. And then she said, I'll go and find someone. I'll get a nurse or a doctor for you. And so I went to the toilet. I came back out and I was waiting in the triage area. And then a doctor came out, Dr. Webster, and he said to me, sorry, that we're going to be a little while because we've got a couple of critical patients in that hospital. And I said, that's fine, don't worry about me, I'm just a gastro case. Not urgent, obviously. And he said, oh, what's your name? And I said, Erin. And he said, oh, we've been expecting you because other people that you ate with on Saturday were sick. Yeah. And he said, can you come through? And I said, sure. And I came in. And then he said to me, I can't say the exact words, but he said something along the lines of, we've got a concern they've eaten death cap mushrooms. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, that's what we think they've eaten.
Yep.
And then he started asking me about what food I served them, and I told him.
All right. I understand you went down to the hospital and got treatment and that. What kind of treatment did you get?
Oh, they took me up to a drip.
A drip?
Yeah. They said that because we're concerned. So Dr. Webster had to leave. I think he was at the end of his shift and he passed on to another doctor, Dr. Foot. And she said to me, because the concern is that everybody's eaten something that hurts your liver, we need to give you this protective medicine. And so there was saline and acetyl something or other, I don't know what it was. But she said we need to give you this and then put you in an ambulance up to Melbourne where they can give you more, I don't know what the word is, more, where they can care for you better. Yeah. So I got saline and this other stuff and went in an ambulance up.
Okay. How long were you in the hospital for in Melbourne?
Till Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, so Monday to Tuesday. All right. And again, for full disclosure, so you understand, we've obtained warrants in relation to medical records for everyone involved in this, and so we will get medical records in relation to your treatment there as well.
Sure.
Okay. Good. You were at home and present when we did a search warrant today. All right. I know you weren't watching everyone at all the time, but I just want to go through on tape some of the stuff. And like I said, we'll give you a copy of this, everything we've seized. Kitchen, far left bottom drawer, instruction manual for a sunbeam, food lab, electronic dehydrator. What's that in relation to that? Do you know anything about a dehydrator in your house? Or? Okay. Do you own a dehydrator?
No.
Okay.
I've got manuals of lots of stuff I've collected over the years. I've had all sorts of appliances and I just keep them all in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When did you own a dehydrator?
I don't know, I might have had one years ago.
Okay. What did you use that for?
Like when I first got the Thermomix, I got really excited about like making everything from scratch,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
and I did a lot of, you know, like everything from scratch ingredients, and I did a lot of that, so I had something like that.
Okay. Kitchen bench located against the wall. Recipe tin each book. Okay, I'm not sure.
That's
Against
that recipe book.
that's that same book that the Wellington recipe come out of. Yeah. Right. From the fridge, we got the fruit salad platter, which you pointed out. Then in the fridge in the butler's pantry, we got the white jug containing the brown liquid, which you pointed out as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. From the study, we took a computer, we took another computer, and we took another computer. Right. In the lounge, we grabbed an iPad in a black and red case. From there, we've grabbed a computer.
Oh, that would be an old one I had up in the top of his cabinet.
Yeah.
That's a very old one.
All right. So that, if I had to prioritise, that would be bottom of the list.
I don't think anyone's power belled from fairly long.
Okay. All right. No dramas. All right. So we'll pop that one at the back of the list. All right. A black mobile phone, which again I'll prioritise tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
Upstairs bedroom 2, far left towards backyard. Says Erin's bedroom, so I assume that's yours. Apple iPad.
I don't own any iPads, but they would be tablets, Android tablets.
Oh, okay. There's a Samsung tablet listed below that, located on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they've got it wrong that it's not an iPad, it's some other tablet. Samsung tablet. An Oppo mobile phone and your mobile phone. Alright. So,
And so you said a black mobile phone earlier.
Yeah.
So that would be a Nokia. It's a really old Nokia that I've got for, like, you know, if you break your phone and you got to send it away from repair and you need, so I've got this like really old thing. So
that's right. Your mobile phone would be the top.
Yeah.
And then we're talking
And then
about
there's
his school computer, followed by
the GeoForce one.
the GeoForce one.
Yeah.
David,
One thing I wanted to clarify, to make sure I've got it right here, obviously you said we're taking notes. When you went to the Landgate Hospital and you said you went in there, and you got shown to the toilet, but you said you had to go home to pack stuff, and your daughter's bag and that sort of thing, and feed the animals. When you had the conversation with Dr. Webster, was that when you first went there or afterwards?
I don't remember.
That's all right. There are other things that I should have mentioned that, I, again, to your credit, police went around your house on that morning.
Oh.
Yep. On the 31st.
That's right.
Yep. And they were obviously responding to the hospital call to check up on you.
Yeah.
And they spoke to you on the phone. And you gave them the PIN code for your gate.
Correct.
And directed them to the bin where there were some leftovers.
Correct.
What are those leftovers that you directed them to?
Throw the uneaten food on my lunch.
Okay. All right. So you helped them in getting that so it could be sampled.
Because my kids ate the meal too.
Yeah.
But there was stuff that was left over and it went straight in the bin. And so when I went to the hospital and they said they were concerned that everyone ate some contaminated food, I said, well, there's the leftovers in the bin, you can have it. Feel free to look through it.
Yep.
And I said, I'll go and get it if you want. And they said, well, that's fine, you need to go on a drip. We'll call the police. And I said, well, that's fine, just let them, know I need to give them a PIN code.
Yep.
So they did that, and a bag of food appeared a bit later.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you for helping us locate that.
It's fine.
All right. Anything else, Dave? No. All right. Any questions at the moment? No. All right. Erin, do you agree the time is now 5:30 p.m. by my watch? Yeah. All right. I'm going to suspend the interview now.
So that was the record of interview. It was quite interesting, wasn't it, Laura?
Yes, it was. And this interview did play a pretty crucial role in the prosecution case. Again, to remind our listeners, Erin actually admitted during the trial to telling a few lies during this interview. You would have just heard her tell Constable Eppingstall that she had never foraged for mushrooms and did not own a dehydrator, but later admitted that those two statements were lies she told in a panic. However, the prosecution really honed in on these lies, and they said that the real reason she was lying to Constable Eppingstall was because she knew she had murdered her lunch guests and she was trying very hard to get away with it.
But clearly the jury saw through her lies. And before we go, I have to say a big happy birthday to Laura.
Oh, thank you, Brooke. I would have loved to have taken today off, but it wasn't meant to be. But I will say that being able to publish the record of interview and all of this evidence that was excluded from the trial has been a great gift.
And as we flagged in our earlier episode, stay tuned for another episode that will be released tomorrow.